Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip continues to have dire consequences for Palestinians living in the region. Almost 2 million people live in the tiny Gaza Strip, comprising just 140 square miles. It is one of the most densely populated regions on Earth. Most Gazans live on less than $2 per day, and 80% are dependent on outside food aid. Residents there live in constant fear of the Israeli army. In two reports of RT's exclusive report from inside the Gaza Strip, we explore the difficulty faced by one specific group of Palestinians, those diagnosed with cancer. Treatment is hard to come by in the besieged Strip. Patients are forced to travel to Jerusalem. But as Anya Parampil reports tonight, she finds out that Israel frequently denies them permission to leave.
In the Gaza Strip, electricity shortages have already pushed hospitals near collapse, forcing doctors to deny patients basic medical procedures. Now imagine you have a disease like cancer. You have to get through this gate, as well as the heavily militarized Israeli-controlled border fence on the other side, just to receive life-saving treatment. According to a new report released by human rights groups, last year the Israelis denied a record amount of permits, leading to the deaths of over 50 Gaza residents.
According to a joint study released by several human rights groups, including Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and Gaza's Al-Mazan Center for Human Rights, Israel approved only 54% of permits for medical appointments in 2017, the lowest rate since the World Health Organization began keeping track of the data. Zakia Tafish's husband, Jamil, is one of those numbers.
2 months before July of last year, my husband went to the hospital and they discovered that his cancer had returned, and they started to give him treatment and medicine, but it didn't work. They said he needs surgery, and every time he got an appointment to get surgery, the hospital postponed it because they said the only solution is to leave Gaza. But he wasn't able to leave Gaza because he wasn't allowed. He got a referral to a hospital in Jerusalem, and every time he wanted to travel, the Israeli border was closed. Every time he wanted to travel, they closed the border and make an excuse.
I asked Issam Yunus of the Al-Mazan Center for Human Rights how the Israelis could justify these denials.
There is no reason behind the denial of patients. Usually either being denied or it's a very lengthy and complicated process where patients could lose their appointments. And when it comes to cancer patients, the time is being counted with days sometimes rather than weeks or months.
For Jamil Tafish, the denial of this life-saving permit was only the final chapter in a long struggle with Israeli control.
During the 2014 war, we evacuated the house to my daughter's place in downtown, and when we returned, we found it completely destroyed. My husband became consumed with rage, and his cancer came back. We became homeless, and when we finally rebuilt the house, he wasn't able to enjoy it.
In a short while, I'll be leaving the Gaza Strip. As a member of the foreign media, it wasn't difficult for me to secure this pass from the Israeli government, guaranteeing my travel to and from the territory. But for too many Palestinians, even those diagnosed with life-threatening illnesses, there's no such magic pass. Only a death sentence handed down by an ever-present occupation. In Gaza City, Anya Parampil, RT.